I've sent a proposal to a client or left a message for a friend or had blood taken at the doctor, I have to wait to patiently hear back. And guess what isn't my strong suit? Patience. I would rather do almost anything than wait without knowing for what's coming next. And truth be told, sometimes I'd rather hear bad news than no news because at least bad news is something. No news is nothing other than for a chance for me to make up a story. And the stories I make up always make me feel stressed. What kinds of stories? A story about how the client I've sent a proposal to is definitely hiring someone else. A story about how my friend is mad at me for something I can't remember doing, but probably did. A story about how the doctor is trying to figure out how to tell me that I'm very, very sick. In other words, it's rarely a story with a happy ending, and I know I'm not the only one who does this. According to neurologist Robert Burton, MD, author of Where Science and Story Meet, because we're compelled to make stories, we're often compelled to take incomplete stories and run with them. With a half story from science in our minds, we earn a dopamine reward every time it helps us understand something in our world, even if that explanation is incomplete or wrong. In other words, filling in the blanks makes us feel good, even if the story we're creating isn't a good one. I've rarely experienced a situation in which I haven't heard from a friend or a family member in a while and thought to myself, I bet they're not speaking to me because they're planning my surprise party and they don't want to slip. But what if I did start to think that? What if I realized that since I'm making up a story, I could just as easily make up a happy one as one with a devastating outcome? What if I became less paranoid and a little more pronoid, believing that people are conspiring to make good things happen for me? And while I'm still working on developing this as a regular habit, I can tell you the practice that I am consistent with. Separating facts from stories, calling myself out on storytelling, and considering other possible stories. Like what? Like this. Scenario 1, fact. I haven't heard back from my client yet on the proposal I sent. Interpretation. The client is going with someone else. Storytelling call out. The story I'm making up is that I haven't heard back because the client is going with someone else. And that's all that is, a made-up story. Other possible stories? The client's on vacation. They need to get approval from their manager before they sign the proposal. The client had something personal that they needed to take care of. Scenario 2. My friend hasn't returned my call. Interpretation. I did something to upset my friend. Storytelling call out. The story I'm making up is that my friend is angry with me and doesn't want to call me back. That's possible and unlikely. Other possible stories. My friend has a work crisis that's taking up her time right now. My friend has so much going on that she wants to talk to me about it so that she has more time and can be uninterrupted. My friend just sent me a present today and wants to wait to call me back until I get it. Scenario 3. Fact. My doctor has not told me the results of my blood work. Interpretation. I'm dying. Storytelling call out. The story I'm making up is that I'm dying and the doctor wants to figure out the best way to break the news to me. Yep, that sounds exactly like the kind of tragic story I would concoct. And yet, other stories include the lab results aren't back yet. My doctor hasn't read the lab results yet. The doctor has read my results and needs to call folks back who have bad news before they call people like me who are getting good news. So the next time you find yourself making up a story that makes you feel stressed, remember to call yourself on the fact that it's just a story. And if you're going to go through the effort of making something up, why not make up a story that makes you smile?